I get weirdly obsessed with cases like this because I can distinctly remember what I was doing on the day that the crime occurred. So that to me just makes it so much more real and so much more significant, and I don't know why. And there's certain murder cases, there's certain crime scenes or crime stories, I should say, that are just so tremendous to me that they just stick to me. To give you a timeline of this case, we do have to go back to summer of 2018 when 33-year-old Chris Watts and 34-year-old Shanann Watts were having a lot of relationship issues. Shanann spent most of the summer in North Carolina with her family and the two girls while Chris stayed in their Frederick, Colorado home. Now, Chris spent the summer texting his buddies about how he was getting fit and living the bachelor life, as he so called it, while Shanann was texting her friends about how her marriage was falling apart. And Shanann also happened to be 15 weeks pregnant at the time. None of their friends really knew, but Chris and Shanann had experienced some financial issues. Back in 2015, they filed for bankruptcy. It seemed kind of difficult, the dynamic where Chris was working outside the home at Anadarko Petroleum, and Shanann was working from home as a sales rep for Thrive, which is one of those multi-level marketing firms where you sell products and you get a cut from it.
So we just shared our Thrive Bites. Thrive Bites right there. If Chris can make it, you can make it.
Anybody can make it.
On August 9th, Shanann texted one of her friends and told her that, Chris was distant. He didn't want to hug her. He didn't want to engage sexually with her. He even mentioned that he was happy with just Celeste and Bella. In fact, he was scared to death of having a third child with Shanann. So obviously Shanann was devastated. She told her friends that, she's never cried so much that her eyes hurt from crying. And obviously so, here she is thinking she's so excited to have a third child with the man that she loves, but he doesn't love her. It was really difficult, a difficult summer for the two. And Shanann even suspected that maybe Chris had someone on the side, so an extramarital affair, which later on we come to find out isn't too far from the truth. Shanann goes on a business trip and returns August 13th at around 1:48 a.m. Her friend Nicole Atkinson drops her off in front of her house, and that was the last time that Nicole would see her friend. The neighbor's security camera was actually able to get that footage, and that was the last known footage of Shanann before she went missing. Around 4 to 5 a.m., Chris and Shanann were believed to be engaged in a heated or emotional conversation about possibly separating. So as soon as she got home, Chris probably, started to talk to her about his desires to get a divorce or to separate. At 5:27 a.m., Chris can be seen loading his pickup truck on the security camera that the neighbor had, and you can actually see that footage here. As you can tell from the top left corner, Chris is loading his truck and then he drives away. When Shanann missed her doctor's appointment at 10 a.m. And didn't text Nicole in the morning, Nicole began to become worried, and rightfully so. Nicole and Shanann had a really close relationship, and apparently they texted each other all the time. And as you can see from Nicole's Facebook video, it was extremely odd that Shanann didn't text her the next day after she dropped her off.
I knew that it wasn't normal for her to not text or call me. Because every time we would go on a trip like this, she would blow up my phone the next day about us working our business.
So Nicole went over to the Watts house to further investigate, and this is where having a good friend really fucking matters. She goes because she has a gut feeling that something is wrong. She sees that Shanann's car is still in the driveway with the two kids' car seats in the back, and when she confronts Chris about where Shanann is, Chris says that Shanann is on a play date, as in Shanann took the kids on a play date, but if she took the kids on a play date, why wouldn't she take her car? So that kind of makes Nicole even more uncomfortable. And then Nicole noticed something super fucking weird. Nicole noticed that Shanann's purse, Shanann's phone, and the kids' medication that Shanann never leaves the house without was still in the house. So that's when this whole playdate story started to crumble before Chris's very eyes. There was a bed sheet found on the job site that matched some pillows that the Watts had in their family home.